Hello everyone and welcome back to another 2 cents plus video. I have a crazy build to show you guys today, but before I do so I have to give a shout out to Cons over on YouTube. They were the inspiration for this build. So as the title says, and you did not read that wrong, this is a Kinsect only build. The skills and everything that you're looking at right now, oddly enough, do not matter. They don't matter at all. Your Kinsect will do the same amount of damage no matter if you have on this armor, if you have on no armor, but the armor that I have on right now is a combination of Tigrex and Fel Shroud for maximum survivability. Offensive skills are going to be worthless to you here, but there's a good reason for that. The only thing that matter here are your Kinsect and its element, and whether or not your glaive has elemental boost. So obviously for maximum damage output, you're going to want to have the highest level Kinsect with the highest amount of elemental damage and power, but it still needs to have a decent amount of speed. So before we get into the finer details about the Kinsect and the glaive, let's take a look at the skills that I've chosen. We got earplugs maxed out, health boost max, recovery up max, slugger maxed, speed eating maxed, divine blessing maxed, attack boost +2, that just kind of comes with the set. Recovery speed +2 and free meal +2. Now this is complete overkill. To be honest, in my testing I probably healed myself with an actual potion maybe once or twice. Health boost is a consistent help. Earplugs is a must, I think, for a set like this. Recovery up is just nice if on the off chance you do heal, and when your weapon is healing you. We'll get to that a little bit later when it comes to augmentations and stuff like that. Divine blessing is, you know, on the off chance you do get hit and you take less damage. Recovery speed is a nice little passive thing that boosts your recovery speed on the off chance you get hit. Like I said, it's probably overkill, to be honest, and you really, honestly, I mean, I got free meal and I've been thinking about swapping that out, but it's there on the set, but you honestly don't really need it. You can put whatever you want on here, guys. I'm just showing you what I have right now. It honestly does not matter what you do. You can do anything you want with this set. It doesn't matter. So the two Kinsects I'm going to recommend that you focus on are the GLEAMBEETLE 3 VELOX or whatever. It's a blunt Kinsect with poison. Elemental damage is 20, power 16, and the speed is 14. The other one is a Sever. It's blast dust. Elemental is +20, and the power is 14, a little bit less than the other, but the speed is 20. So these are the two that you should focus on. All the rest of the Kinsects are kind of subpar or specialize in either heal or speed, but these are the two that have both, on average, the highest elements and power. So these are the ones I recommend you guys go with or focus on. And what you're gonna have to do, and I know this sounds kind of tedious, is you're gonna need to make each one of these Kinsects 5 times a piece. Now I know you're like, wow, why would I have to do that? Why would I have to make 5 of the same Kinsect? The reason for that is because it takes resources to change the element of this Kinsect, and unfortunately, element is everything when it comes to this build. If you do not have the correct element, you might as well just not be doing it, because you're completely wasting your time. Your damage will be sometimes halved or even cut into a third if you don't have the correct element. So having the correct element is good, but you don't want to have to use resources every single time to change elements of the one Kinsect you have, because those can get kind of expensive. So it just makes a bit more sense, if this is what you're gonna be doing, to do it this way. I realize that this sounds extremely tedious, but what I'm gonna do for you guys is I'm gonna provide for you a full shopping list of every single item that you're gonna need to make this happen. That is to make all 5 Kinsects, to max all of them out, and to have each one of them a different element for your convenience. That'll be down in the description, so be looking out for that. So let's take a step back here and talk about the weapon. Now, as I told you guys before, I'm using the Behemoth Insect Glaive, and it has elemental boost, and that is the specific reason why I'm using it. You can use any glaive you want as long as it has elemental boost or element boost. Not all of them have it. As a matter of fact, I think very few actually have element boost, but as long as it has it, it doesn't matter if it's a level 1, it doesn't matter if it's completely maxed out at 11. None of that will change the damage output of your Kincect. Your Kincect will do the same damage regardless. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about or really specify is you don't have to, just because it's a Kincect only build and your Kincect is indeed powerful and you can kill anything in this game with just your Kincect if you have the patience, doesn't mean you have to. So what you can do is you can make something like this, have it set up to where your Kincect is indeed powerful. Put some health augments on it, or use an older weapon if you don't have it. Now, the reason that I'm using an older weapon as opposed to using a newer weapon and then creating a DPS build on top of the Kincect's power, which would be the most optimal and probably more intelligent way to go about this, is because I do not have access at the moment to health augments for 10, 11, and 12 weapons. I just don't have access to that at the moment. So the only weapons I have access to that have health augment are older weapons, which is fine. So I lean a lot more on the Kincect with the build that I have. I completely omitted all offensive skills and I focus solely on the Kincect. But you can do a hybrid. You can make this Kincect extremely powerful, and then whenever you do knockdowns and stuff like that or whatever, you can use your glaive to utilize or capitalize on those offensive skills. Now, once I get to that point, then that's probably what I'll end up doing. What I'll end up doing. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. For some reason, that didn't sound like it came out right. So you don't have to replicate exactly what I'm doing. You can kind of freestyle this and do it however you want. And if you already have, 10, 11, and 12 level weapons that have health augments on there, that have the element boost, by the way, on your Kincect, then you should be fine. So before we end this video, I want to discuss some potential play styles with this, because there's a couple ways you can go about it. The first way, let's just say you're kind of lacking when it comes to materials and stuff like that. Maybe you're still relatively new-ish to the game and haven't got a lot of stuff. To make like high heavy duty DPS builds, you can go straight for straight up Kincect, and you'll be doing a pretty sufficient amount of damage. As I said before, if you have higher level weapons, 11, 10, 11, 12, with health augments on them, you could actually go for a really, those end game high end DPS builds with a health augment on it. And what you can do is simply use your Kincect, your blunt Kincect, to knock the monster down, and otherwise use your weapon normally. Or if the monster is out of reach, like you're fighting Machalite Ore or Rathlos, for example, and they're constantly up in the air, you can continue doing constant DPS by sending your Kincect up there and repeatedly attacking them until they hit the ground, and then you can resume using your weapon the normal way. Like, your Kincect doesn't have to only be for buffs now. You can actually do a sufficient amount of damage when the monster is out of reach, which is also a really good way to do it. So, like I said, really versatile, guys. You want to go for a straight up defense, you want to go for straight up offense, depending on where you are, what kind of weapon. Like, obviously you don't want to do really a straight up offensive build with an older weapon, because you're just not going to be putting out as much damage as you would if you would just use the Kincect, in my experience, from what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't actually gone to the training room and crunched all the numbers exactly, but sitting there and constantly being able to do, say for example, what you're seeing on screen, 75 to a monster's head over and over the course of a few seconds. Like, maybe the monster falls down for like 20 seconds and they're there, and you're able to hit them like 12-15 times in that 20 seconds. Each hit's doing 75. That just seems like it's much more damage than fumbling through a combo and trying to get all the hits, and every hit is a different one. Is 20, one maybe 100, one maybe 50. You never, you know, there's a bit of consistency here that I like, which is why I've kind of chosen to go this route. But like I said, the beauty about this type of build is you can do whatever the hell you want. If you want to go in completely naked, you know, with a health augmented Kincect, you can. I am very curious to see, you know, what kind of builds people come up with, or what people decide to do with this. And I do want to give another thank you to Cons for making a video on this and just showcasing that you can get your Kincect to put out this type of damage in the first place. I don't know if Cons was the originator of this idea. This is just where I saw it, so I'm giving credit where I saw it come from. The link to his channel and his video is also going to be down in the description, so you guys can check that out, so you can see the type of testing that they did in order to showcase this build and how it works out. Outside of that, I might do some other videos in relation to this, so just let me know if you guys want to see something like that. And yeah, see you guys next time.